Hello, today I'm here in the wilderness of the Daintree rainforest. It's quite a nice day in the Daintree today. The Daintree covers 0.2% of Australia's landmass and is one of the most wildly inhabited rainforests in the world.
Many effects that impact the rainforest in multiple different ways. Logging. Logging affects the Daintree rainforest because if the loggers go and cut down all the trees, it ruins species habitats. Farming. Farming affects the Daintree rainforests because farmers clear land so that they are able to use it for agricultural purposes. Construction. Construction is affecting the Daintree rainforest because people are destroying the rainforest in order to have land to build houses, roads, and infrastructures on. Mining. Mining is a problem because miners clear the rainforest and dig up the ground to extract minerals. Tourism. Tourism is a problem because the interest of the Daintree rainforest grows while buses and transport is needed to keep up the demand, and that increases the carbon dioxide and impacts on climate change, which will affect both the flora and fauna.
All of these problems are destroying the Daintree rainforest. All of the plants and animals in the Daintree rainforest play their part in their own little ecosystem. They all have their own jobs and they do different things to keep the ecosystems running. They're all part of food chains and food webs that are ongoing forever. All of these things come together to create ecosystems and an ecological paradise known as the Daintree rainforest. Here we are again in the Daintree rainforest. It's a beautiful place to be in. It's quite a nice day today as well. So here's some facts on the Daintree. So there's 1,145 species of trees and plants. The Daintree contains 20% of Australia's bird species, 30% of Australia's frog species, 30% of Australia's marsupial species, 30% of Australia's reptile species, 65% of Australia's bat species, and also 65% of Australia's butterfly species. The highest number of rare or threatened plants are also an animal species anywhere in the world are in the Daintree, and they're all living in 0.2% of Australia's landmass, which is absolutely amazing. Right here, it's quite a great spectacle. Lots of big trees, and it's amazing to see all the little ecosystems that are around the place. They all interlink and do things together, so it's good. Within different ecosystems and microhabitats, there are autotrophs and heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are things like monkeys, frogs, lizards, and they all need to eat something or consume something to get the energy. Whereas autotrophs are things like plants or trees that actually produce their own energy using the process of photosynthesis. Within ecosystems, there are producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers are the ones that produce the energy using the process of photosynthesis. These are normally plants or trees. The consumers are the ones that then eat the plants and eat the animals that eat the plants to then gain that energy from the plants, and then they use that energy to live. And then after those animals have died, the decomposers then help in the process of decomposing those animals to put their life essence back into the ground and start the process all over again.
A food chain shows the transfer of energy from one organism to another.
Within the Daintree rainforest, there are many different ecosystems, very small ones that include different food chains and food webs. As shown in this one, the corn is eaten by the grasshopper, which is a primary consumer. Then the grasshopper is eaten by the lizard, which is a secondary consumer. Then the lizard is eaten by a snake, which is of course a tertiary consumer.
Weeks before going in search
This is
of
an
more food.
example of a predator eating its prey. A food web shows the different transfers of energy to different organisms. It shows not one but multiple transfers of energy to different organisms. It also shows which organism the energy is transferred to. Food web is a system of interlocking and interdependent food chains. Okay, so now I'm going to explain this image right here of an ecological pyramid. Okay, so the producers are at the bottom, so that's the energy of the producers. So when the producers use the process of photosynthesis, they get 100% of the energy. Then next, the primary consumers eat the producers, and they only get around 10% of the energy that the producers got. Then after the primary consumers are eaten by the secondary consumers, they only get 1%, around about 1% of that all that energy, starting from where the producer got the 100% of the energy. Then when the tertiary consumers eat the secondary consumers, they only get 0.1%. And this is also a way of showing how in ecosystems there are more producers than primary consumers, and there are more primary consumers than secondary consumers, and there are more secondary consumers than tertiary consumers. This is because there needs to be enough of the food source for the next organism in the food chain. So if there was too many, if there was not enough producers, then the whole food chain will be erupt into chaos. This video is an example of predator-prey, where the tertiary consumer, which is the lion, is attacking and then eating the antelope, which is a primary consumer.